everybody, Peg here, and today I want to talk to you about budget embellishments. You know, we all have trash. We all have stuff around the house that just gets tossed, and we can make things out of it. You know, instead of rushing out to the scrapbook or craft store and buying things, we already have a whole bunch of stuff in our stash, whether it's paper, washi tape, all that stuff that we have to use up. And okay, here is a yogurt dish. Now this is even usable because, you know, you can cut it into little pieces. You can use the little pieces on things. You know, everything glues down, so you know, don't dismiss something just because you cut it off. But what I wanted to do was to cut the rim off of this plastic container because I want to die cut it. And before I die cut it, I want to apply some washi tape. So I'm just going to use my stash of tape, and I'm going to stick it down on this plastic. Okay, this one's not peeling, so I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use one that will peel. So think about what you have. I have a number of things here. I was checking on some of these pens to see if they still mark. The ones that are good, you know, I'll set aside. The ones that are no longer good, I'll take parts out of. Like this one is no longer, well, it's got a little bit of ink, but really it's pretty much done. You can see that there's no ink in the barrel. But what you can do is take this apart and use parts out of it. I mean, look at that spring. Isn't that awesome? That's very textural. I'll probably toss this because it's full of ink, unless I really wanted this barrel part, and I probably could even cut the barrel off, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. But there are components in this pen that are usable. Look at the nice little round piece here that I can use to do some textural things with. But yeah, I'll keep that spring, and I'll throw it over here in my tray, because over here I have an assortment of old jewelry, things that, you know, aren't being worn any longer. But what a nice embellishment, right? You can change the color up just by adding gesso, or, you know, use these in my pieces of art. So that's what I'm going to do with those. Other things that you have around the house, you know, bottles. These plastic bottles, you can cut them up. You can use pieces of the plastic bottle. Cans, lids, all kinds of things that I can think of. Just, you know, start looking at your trash and think about what you can do with all that stuff that's just going out to the curb. Okay, so this is not this is not the day anything is peeling for me. That's okay. I'm just layering some washi tape down on here, and I'm not being particular about it, because what I want to do is come back with a die cut and cut this out, because then it becomes a really cool embellishment, right? So I'm gonna finish putting some tape on here, and then I'll come back and show you what this looks like once it's cut out. So there's my cute little hearts. This one is just done with glued painted paper. So, you know, if you've got a dearth of painted paper, be sure and include that in your embellishments. Now, you can just spend a day doing things like pulling tabs, cutting up. I mean, these are easy enough to just take a pair of scissors and cut up your cans. Be careful, because this stuff is sharp, but I can run this through the die machine, and I can cut this out and make an embellishment. You know, I'll finish cutting this and cut something out and show you how that turns out. Think about the lids off of your tin cans. If you have one of those openers that cuts or opens up the seam, you know, so that you're not cutting yourself on these. Let me show you a project that I did using one of these. This particular project is a recycled book that fits into a sleeve, and this here is a tin can lid, you know, so you can incorporate these things right in. This is trash, you know, pieces that were left over from something else that I just glued down. You can use tape. This has tape in the background, so, you know, think about all of those medical tapes and things that you have in your stash, or, you know, can pick up at the dollar store. They're all very usable in your artwork. Things that are left over from the hardware, you know, you get a bunch of stuff like this when you're putting your furniture together. Think about incorporating some of this leftover stuff into your art. And then also, you know, like I was telling you, these are tools that you can get. This was a lip gloss piece that I can use to, you know, do a little bit of texturizing or something with, or here's an old mascara brush that, you know, I've washed out, and I can use this brush to do things with. Great for sewing is your waxed dental floss. This stuff is like super strong, and it works great, you know, rather than going out and buying waxed linen, which is quite a bit more expensive. If you're stitching books together, especially junk journals, this works terrific. So think about all that stuff that, you know, you're not utilizing, and put it to work for you. So when I'm die cutting metal pieces, I like to use the magnetic sheet here. It just is a better surface to run that type of stuff. And I'm using even the fine dies on this. You can see this is the can that I had, and it cut beautifully. And I will tell you that you may have to spend a little bit of time doing some weeding. You know, take your tool and just, you know, pop out. Actually, I should be doing it from this side. Pop out these pieces that are in here, but they will, you know, you can hear it pop right out of the can. And get into those corners. Make sure that you get them loose, and it will come out. So yeah, spend a little bit of time on your weeding like this, and then you can end up with some beautiful embellishment pieces like this. This can have all kinds of things applied to it. You can use alcohol ink, or, you know, any number of different things to colorize this with. Or, you know, if you don't want to deal with the cans, if you're afraid that you're, you know, you can wear gloves when you're doing this so that you're not cutting yourself. But, you know, I'd say once it's gone through the machine, you're really not dealing with anything too sharp. And I'd still say this is probably not for children to do, but you can get some great results just by using the dies and things that you already have. So think about your cans, your plastic, all of those things that just go into the recycle bin, and make art. Make trash art. Bye for now, guys. Remember, you make a difference, and be sure and check out My Creative Year on the Facebook, because they have lots of things to share with you there. And I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.